What's going on? It's BF and Kruma, Black Men's Personal Development Coach. And this segment right here is Becoming Unstoppable. Today we're going to talk about the formula to manifest whatever it is that you want. Now, I know a lot of people talk about manifestation, but we're not going to talk about it the way everybody else does. Manifestation is real, but it's not some magic where things just going to fall out of the sky. But with this formula right here, you can begin to manifest the things that you want in life. So what this stands for, thoughts plus emotions will equal chemicals, plus actions equals manifestation. So let's start with thoughts. Let's start with the beginning of the formula. So your thoughts your thoughts, whether they are intentional or whether they are unintentional, will lead to manifestation. So one of our biggest problems is we aren't aware of the things that we think about the most. So we have all of these thoughts that are going through our mind, and we're not catching these negative thoughts. We're not catching these doubts. We're not catching these fears. We're not catching anything. We're just letting our thoughts just run rampant. And when we allow our thoughts to run rampant, we begin to manifest rampant stuff in our lives. So we got to start with thoughts. What you manifest is always going to start with your thoughts. Now, some of you might say, man, I think about success all the time. I think about my goals all the time. But, excuse me, there's a difference between intentional, creative imagination and daydreaming. Some days I daydream I'm playing in the NBA. But no part of my brain thinks I'm ever going to be in the NBA. So while it's a thought, my brain is viewing that thought as if it's a fictional movie. It doesn't think it is real. It knows it's not real. It's just a daydream. So while you might have thoughts about success, if you are not intentional in your creative imagination and sitting still, meditating, focusing on how to take my mind to the place of where I'm trying to get. And I'm not thinking about it as an escape. You might think about success while you're on your job because you just hate your job, and so I'm thinking about where I wish I could be. But no, we have to take time to pause. A lot of us don't want to pause. Take time to pause and sit in our creative imagination and think of every single detail of the life that we want. Think of every single detail of every goal that we want to smash. Think of every single detail of the person that we want to be. And think about it hard. Think about it hard until you can begin to feel how you would feel in that position. So your thoughts plus emotions. So that's the second part. You have to have an elevated emotion towards the thought. So think COVID, right? COVID, they didn't tell us anything logical. They said a bunch of thoughts that would induce fear. Thoughts that would induce fear. You're going to die. Your mother's going to die. Think about the elderly. And they want to create an elevated emotion because that's what begins to stick to you. So when we're talking about our goals, when we're talking about our dreams, when we're talking about success, your creative imagination, you have to take that thought, you have to create every detail in your mind. And when you're creating every detail in your mind, you have to begin to, as Dr. Joe Dispenza calls, recondition your body to a new mind. So now what we have to do with these emotions is feel the joy, feel the satisfaction, feel the success. Feel you feeling proud of yourself. Whatever feeling that you would feel once you're actually in that position, once you're actually that person, you have to sit in the meditation and think about it so clearly because, listen, our brains don't know the difference between a real event and a heavily imagined event. So it's like if you watch a movie that's sad, people literally will cry. At my old age, I became one of those people. It produced chemicals in your body and you actually cry over something that you know is fake, but when you're watching it so deeply intent in it, your brain starts looking at it like it's real, and you then can begin to cry and feel sad because of what you're seeing. So when we're doing our creative imagination, it's hot with these lights on, when we're doing our creative imagination, we have to see ourselves so deep in the life that we want till we actually start to feel like it's already there. So what emotions are created by chemicals. So every emotion you have, there's a chemical reaction and a chemical blueprint in your body. The chemicals are sort of like a snapshot, your body taking a snapshot of what you see in life and how you felt at the time, or what you experienced in life and how you felt at the time, or in our case, what you creatively imagined and how you felt at the time. Again, with the COVID, we get you to think, we get you to have these emotions, and we're going to produce these chemicals in you. So once your body has this blueprint, your body has a reference point to always go back to. Your body has a reference point to always go back to. So anytime you experience anything similar, your body's going to go right back to that place. So the chemicals create actions. Because what happens now, what I think about, I have these elevated emotions, and now I have this chemical reaction in my body. So, you know what? I think about nostalgia, right? You hear an old song, it takes you right back to the place where you were. It takes you right back to that same feeling that you had in that moment. Every time I hear Will Smith's Summertime, you can't tell me it's not 1992 or whatever year it was. I'll be in my car just feeling like I'm a kid all over again. My body took a snapshot of what I was feeling at the time, what I was experiencing, and I can always go right back there. So what we want to do is the reverse of nostalgia, because nostalgia is going to take you back to the past. We want to condition your body to your future. So the same way a song can trigger you to be right in that place of the past, we want to trigger you to constantly be in your future. So this is what happens, and this is how actions are produced. So with COVID, you're going to die, grandma's going to die, you are a piece of shit because you don't want to get the vaccine. You get this fear. You produce the chemicals of fear, right? So now every fear that you've ever had in life, you start feeling like every fear, and then you wear a mask. And then you get the vaccine. And then you are afraid to travel. Actions always follow the thoughts elevated in chemicals. So now think about this, right? You are driving down the street and see a McDonald's. You get the urge to pull over in the drive-thru. I know all y'all don't eat McDonald's. Everybody's saying they don't, but everybody know every once in a while they stop by for a double cheeseburger. You get the urge to just pull over to get some McDonald's. Or you wake up and you like, I got the taste for some seafood. Or if you smoke, you like, man, I feel like I need a cigarette right now. Or if you drink, you're like, I need a drink right now. Or if you smoke weed, you're like, man, I feel like I need to smoke some weed right now. Or you get horny. I feel like I want some sex right now. The thoughts, emotions, and chemicals are now getting ready to produce actions. Because if you feel like you need to smoke a cigarette, you're going to go smoke a cigarette. You start feeling like you need a drink, you're going to go drink. You start feeling like you need some sex, you're going to go try to find some sex somewhere, all starting here. And you're going to have the actions that match the thoughts. Hope I don't look crazy because I can't see. You create the actions that, no, you don't create the actions. You subconsciously begin to act on the thoughts. Whatever the thought is, your body subconsciously will begin to create actions to accomplish the goal of the thought. So now let's go with us. Create an imagination. Whatever your goal is, whatever your dream is, you're thinking about it. You're sitting in your imagination. You are imagining yourself living that life right now, with an elevated emotion towards that thought. Joy, gratitude, thankfulness, pride, accomplishment. You begin to produce chemicals that align with those thoughts and emotions. And then all of a sudden, you just start having the urge to do things that's going to lead you to whatever your thought was. So, all of my life, I never had the urge to read. Now I read 40, 50 books a year. I get the urge to just read because my thoughts are centered around, I want to be able to educate people the best way that I can. I want to basically set myself apart from any and everybody else who's speaking or teaching by giving the best information that I can. So my goal, I want to be the best speaker that you ever heard. And not because I'm charismatic or anything like that, but because I'm giving you something that's going to change your life. But the only way I can change your life if I have a certain amount of information. So my thoughts lead to these urges from the chemicals. Let me just pick up this book. Let me just go on Amazon and I remember one night I was stressing, I have an improper relationship with time. So I was bothered and I went to sleep. And in my sleep, got the urge, wake up, go on Amazon and look up how to live in the moment, how to live in the now. And I put it in Amazon, book popped right up. How to live in the now, ordered the book, changed my life. Urge, divine, intervention, God, spirit, whatever. But these thoughts and these emotions and chemicals begin to produce urges that produce actions. So whatever it is that you want, wherever you're trying to get to, when you have your creative imagination, elevated thoughts, and the chemicals is going to begin to urge you and prompt you to have actions that's going to lead you right to whatever your thoughts were, and that's manifestation. Because every day, outside of what you consciously plan, your subconscious mind is going to say, I feel like doing this. And the this is going to be something that leads you to success. Your subconscious mind is going to say, hey, maybe we should stop by here. And where you stop by, that's going to lead you to success. Your subconscious is going to say, hey, maybe you should call and have a conversation with this person. And the person you talk to is going to lead you to success. Your subconscious mind is going to continually prompt urges. The same way you have the urge to smoke or drink or have sex, the same way you have the urge to or the taste for something that day, you will have the taste for success subconsciously in your mind, and you won't even recognize how your life is changing, and that's why it's manifestation. Because these things aren't happening by your conscious mind. They're not happening by your will. They're happening by the things that's going on in the back of your mind. The urges that's in your gut begin to let you know, hey, go do this. Go do that. And you don't even recognize, you just start doing it. Next thing you know, you're doing all of these different things that you didn't used to do before. And those things are manifesting whatever the goal or the thought was in the beginning. It's BF and Kruma, Black Man's Personal Development Coach. Now, this is just a small portion of what I teach in my 10-week course to becoming unstoppable. If you want